Hey everyone. So today I have for you a CX5 Scorpion. This is also sometimes called a Marks High Security. This is a fairly difficult lock. It's got two locking mechanisms. So it's got top stack bitting, obviously, but then it's also got a slider track. Sliders are unsprung. There are 5 of them, and they interact with that track, which in turn interacts or forces them to interact with this sidebar here. You can see the sidebar groove right there on the side. And there's the sidebar right there. So the sliders themselves are all false gated. Oh, if I can hold it in the right spot. So you can see on this one, the false gate's actually below the true gate. This was a low lift slider, but I'll show you one of the high lift sliders from the back of the lock. Same idea, but the false gate you can see up there, you would hit first before you hit the true gate on that one. In addition to the sliders, all of the drivers in this lock are gin spools, so you can see there. And this does have, I wasn't sure if it would or not, but it does have matched milling in the plug. So you can see the gin milling right there. And you can hear it catch my pick. So, pretty decent. Not as hard as the milling, to pick out the milling as you would find in like an Assa Twin 6000 or an Assa 700. But it did catch a little bit. I had problems picking it, especially with the last pin. Number 6 getting stuck in that milling. So yeah, decent lock. I hadn't gutted it before I picked it. You can see it catching right there. I hadn't gutted it before I picked it, so I didn't know there was milling. But I did know that there were gin spools in it because I did take some of the pins out of the top when I was practicing this one. So I knew there were gin spools. Didn't know that they were milling, but it all makes sense once it's in there. But yeah, pretty decent lock, as I mentioned. Not super easy to pick, but once I kind of got the hang of it, it was not too bad. I did isolate pretty decently. So in general, the top stack's bound first and then the sidebar, but I would have to sometimes go back and revisit some of the top pins that were stuck in that gin milling. So there we go, pretty quick. We'll get over to the pick and the gut next. All right, got my CX5 here. Key works. And there is my key. I'm going to pick this going counterclockwise. And first thing I need to do is set the top stacks. I believe because these are kind of gin spools, they act a little bit like tapered pins, in that as you lift them, you get to the spooled part and they stop interacting, and then something else binds and you'll have to kind of move around inside the lock until you start getting to the point where you can lift some of them and get them to set. So I think that was one there, yeah. So once you get one to set, the other ones start to bind up better. And it's just a matter of getting these lifted. So that they are fully set above the shear line here. Getting some core movement, which might mean the sidebar is going to bind soon. So let me just check the sliders here. All right, got some more core movement. setting slider number 2. Let me check the rest of these. Okay, 4 is bound up really hard. It doesn't feel like any more of the sliders are binding, so I think I do need to go back to the top stacks here. I probably have something that needs to be set. Yeah, this rear one. Go back to the sidebar here. So you don't have to like manually counter rotate these like you would on a an Assa with gins, but you do have to let tension off and just kind of try to pop them up. I have not gutted this lock yet, so I don't think it has counter milling, but I could be wrong. I let up on tension there and got some counter rotation when I did that. So maybe I had something slightly overset. Yeah, the sliders are binding again here. So I'm trying to lift slider 4 right now. Check slider 5. Yes, I can sometimes tell when a slider is ready to go because I have a lot of problems getting my pick under it here. So that usually tells me that it's binding. go back to the top here. This rear pin does not feel, I don't think it feels set. Yeah. I'm definitely having problems with this rear pin. Okay, maybe that was it. Again, I lifted it, almost overlifting, and then let the pressure off and saw it drop. Sorry, I'm just messing with these side pins again. Oh, there we go. Okay, I think I had number 3 on the side overset. All right, there we go. That is open. So you can see I can manipulate the cam here. And let's go ahead and gut this real quick. Relock it. And this has grub screws for everything on the top, which is great. And I did color the I colored the top of the gins with a Sharpie so you could see the orientation before I pull them out. So you can see it's got black marks there because these are tough to get out. So you can see that's the brass side, and that side I've marked with a Sharpie. So that's how they're all set up right now. So I'm just going to get the spring out of each chamber, and I'll show you the black mark there. And then just tap those out. And again, see that's colored, and that side's not. I don't know what it is about this lock that makes the pins want to not come out, but there's the gin there. For some reason, there it is. I was gonna say, key pin number 3 does not want to exit. All right, 2 more. Last one, and then I will take the plug out. Okay. I've never removed the plug on this, so hopefully there's no surprises in here. Okay. Hopefully the sliders will not fly out if I put the key in here. Okay, there's the sidebar. All right. So you can see there is the sidebar groove for this lock. And let's see what this thing looks like. There's our sidebar. It's solid. And there's our sliders. And I think these sliders do have false gates. So let's double check that. Try to get these springs out so I don't lose them. Okay. There is slider 1, so it does, yep, false gates. Slider 2. Three. 4 and 5. Okay, is there any milling here? Oh, there is. Okay. All right, so definitely milling in the plug. Let's see if I can get one of these gins to catch. Yep. Yeah, definitely catches. All right, that's cool. And then oh, that's got some grease or something on it. All right, so there is everything up close. Gin spools, false gated, unsprung sliders. False gates on every one of those. And you can see number 3 definitely has, so you hit the true gate first on number 3. That was a low lift one. And then you would hit the false gate. So that one was getting stuck for sure. I think 1 was a low lift. Yeah, you can kind of see. So 1 was a low lift slider. 3 was a low lift slider. And then these other ones were a bit higher lift. But you hit the false gates first on 4 and 5 at least, as you'd be lifting it. All right, there we go. All picked and gutted. CX5 Scorpion.